one of the most difficult things about playing Michigan State, just the fact that they just seem to have so many different weapons that attack in different points in the game, and that you just never could get that one burst to get back at them. Is that what makes them so good?
Well, I think first of all, for us, we were just so bad in the first half. We're lucky to be in the game at halftime. I felt very fortunate to even be in the game, having 9 turnovers in halftime against a great team. The thing that they've done this year is a different team. They're really banged up right now, and we're able to get Keith Appling out of the game, and we couldn't make any moves then. And that right there just kind of shows you, Valentine might be the player of the game. He scores 2 points because he was able to serve a role for them while Appling was out to help Michigan State. Just get him into offense. And he has 2 points, he has 6 rebounds, he has 4 assists, and you think it's not that big a deal. But with Travis Trice out and Appling the fouls, it's the game because they have their other pieces. Nix can score down low. Adrian Payne's an inside-outside guy. I thought Brandon Dawson was key for him early in that second half, making a couple pull-ups, getting to the basket. And then Keith Appling down the stretch was really good. So they have a good team. More than anything, they don't have anybody, and maybe I didn't watch them a lot in non-conference, so I don't know, but they don't have people out there trying to do things they can't do. I think he's done a good job with his group in terms of those guys playing their roles.
Coach, you guys, you kept getting it from, get it 15 to 12, 12 to 10, and then they'd come back and hit big shots. How hard is it for, especially a young team, to bounce back from something like that and keep fighting?
Well, it deflates us when we miss layups, miss free throws, and take a bad shot.
Right.
The other part, when somebody makes good plays, you just got to keep battling. You got to keep with it. But when it's self-inflicted at times, and we turn it over, they go down and get a 3-point play. Or we miss a point-blank play. We miss like 3 point-blank layups in the first half, and then they're able to convert a couple of those into plays at the other end. That really, deflates our team when things of that nature happens. And we just don't have a mature pulse to our group. Little things really bother us, and then it snowballs. And so, we miss a wide-open shot, they go hit a 3. That's 5 points. When that happens 5 times in a game, that's a big deal. And we hustle and get a loose ball, or we get an offensive rebound, and then we throw it away. And it's great that we hustle, but it doesn't give you the freedom or the right, to throw the ball to the other team. It's just such a quick switch. We have that happen, a handful of times tonight, and it's the difference. And I talked a lot about Michigan State and everything, but the 50-50 balls in the first half, that's why I thought we were so fortunate to be down 8. They were getting them all. They might not have got every rebound. They were out-rebounded us by a couple, but they were, when the ball got loose, Michigan State was getting it. And teams like that are going to win.
You put A.J. back in with 9 minutes to play, and he played with much greater sense of urgency, I thought. Is that the battle with him, to just bring it like that every time?
Yeah, well, he goes 1 for 6 from the field in the first half, and he lets it bother him. And he just needs to take good shots. And I thought for the most part he did, so don't get frustrated with missing good shots. Just keep battling for position. A.J.'s got to learn to start and finish games and help us in the course of the game. If you look at his big scoring games, he's scored a majority of his points after we've been down. He's got to score those points when they matter, starting games and finishing games, and obviously in wins.
At the same time, he is settling in, isn't he? I mean, he's a much different player than he was a month ago.
Yes, he's never been an offensive player before this year. And so just trying to gain confidence on a lot of people have asked, why I keep him in when the game's out of reach, let him play, because I want him to build confidence. He's never been a guy who scored 30 points in a game. We got blown out by 40 points, and I kept him in the whole time, just trying to help his confidence, trying to make. He has good post moves. He has a nice touch. So I just want him to feel good about himself when he does struggle, just to stay with it. And he's come a long way. I think he's got a chance to be a really good player.
There are expectations. I mean, you look at him and you think 2010.
Yes, he should be a 2010 guy. I think he actually should rebound more than that. He makes solid plays at times. He just gets big. He keeps the ball high. He does some fundamental things for a big guy that are very unique and simple. But then again, he'll reach. He just has to get consistent. He just has to get consistent with his habits.
Matt, you mentioned you were fortunate to be down 8 at halftime with how bad you played, and I think you guys got the first basket in the second half to get within 6.
Right, yeah.
And I think in the next 2 minutes they burst out to a 13-point lead, and I'm asking how critical was that stretch early in the second half where they got that to 13?
Well, yeah, we wanted to build off something, and then with I don't know if Athlete ends up with 3 fouls. I thought, it's just like when we played Ohio State. I thought when Aaron Kraft got out of the game, we just had to try to make a move at that time, and we didn't. I thought that was a key time for Michigan State, and that's the reason I think Valentine was so important with his play. And then once we did start to have that basket and they had that surge, they just have obviously they have a better team and a more talented team, but they also have a more mature team in terms of their roles. But we just have to be better at what we do.
I know Bird was in foul trouble. What do you need more from him offensively? I mean, he only took one shot. Does he need to look for his shot more? Did he just not get free?
Yeah, Tom Izzo didn't slip on a banana peel and go to 6 Final Fours. He was going to have a guy stay with him, and he did a good job of staying with him. He knows how important Bird is to our team, and so if we can establish A.J. Hammonds and then get some of the Johnsons to get in the lane and drive the ball, and then Bird can knock down shots, we have a nice balance to our offense. That's easier said than done against a really good team. But I thought Michigan State took him out of some things tonight by just staying with him, and then I also thought he took himself out by having a couple silly fouls. And then once you get into foul trouble and you go in and out, now you're not into a rhythm, and now it's harder. And that's what I think is really good about Keith Athlete in this game was, he got in some foul trouble, he got out, but down the stretch he made important baskets. When we would, inch back maybe a little bit to where he'd get in under 10 or whatever, he'd make a pull-up or he'd draw a foul. And that's what you need from your experienced players. And, he struggled shooting the other night, and tonight he just didn't get many attempts, but we have to have him from the intangible standpoint. We need him in the game.
Take 2 more, Brian, and then Luke.
14 turnovers obviously isn't a great number. It's not an outrageous number either, though, but it seems like another one of those cases where the turnovers really impacted the game.
Yeah. Well, I thought in the first half it impacted the game, and then we just don't turn it over. I'd rather throw it in the 10th row. The score doesn't change when the ball goes in the 10th row, but when you throw it right to him, A.J. Hammonds makes a great play, hustles the ball down, and just throws it right to Gary Harris. Anthony Johnson makes a good hustle play and gets a rebound and then throws it right to them. So here we make hustle plays and we just give it right back to them. We have to learn to, reward yourself, make a hustle play, get the ball back. It might not be there right away. Now move the ball a little bit or set yourself. And so that's the maturity part that we've talked about a lot. That we just have to do a better job of keeping our composure and not turning it over.
Matt, Brandon Dawson's a player who can come and go in terms of his motor at times during the season. How much does he impact their ceiling when he's dialed in like that in terms of what they can do this season?
Yeah. Well, you think about what he did tonight with 20 points. If you say Brandon Dawson got 20 points, I'd say he got 13 rebounds then. But for him to get 20 points and then only get 3 rebounds says he's scoring in different ways. He's a mismatched guy because he's really a kind of a post-up body, kind of like a Bonzi Wells type guy. With his body and his overall athleticism and his strength, he's a hard guy to keep off the glass. And last year we had a total matchup problem with him in terms of just trying to get him to rebound. A lot of people do. But him making those intermediate shots, those pull-up shots, when he's consistent like that, that just gives him, gives him another weapon. And then Gary Harris, who's obviously, you can tell he's really hurt, is shooting the ball well, and Appleton's playing well, and then you have those horses down low. That's a pretty good mix of guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, no problem.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.